Welcome to the Israel Daily News Podcast. I'm your host, Shanna Fold, and I'm here to get you caught up quickly. I've got some top news stories for you today from Israel, and guess what? You're listening, so you're all already on top of your game. Survive and thrive, people. Knowledge is the best weapon. Today is Thursday, May 8th, 2025 in the Gregorian calendar and the 10th of Iyar in the Hebrew calendar. Stay tuned until the end of the show to hear a Torah thought from Rabbi Yossi Madvig of Oswego, New York. Now, let's get to the news. An Israeli source tells the Jerusalem Post that 21 hostages held by Hamas are confirmed to be alive. 3 more, one Israeli and 2 foreign nationals, are in a question mark because there have been no signs of life from them. However, the case is not closed. Prime Minister Netanyahu announced the information in a video update he shared Wednesday, a day after U.S. President Donald Trump claimed only 21 remain living and said that the other 3 individuals are dead. Israeli officials seem not to be able to confirm this right now. Hamas is currently holding 59 hostages, with 35 confirmed dead, 32 Israelis, and 3 foreign nationals. The IDF's missing persons unit regularly provides hostage families with the known intelligence, assigning dedicated officers to maintain communication with them. Foreign hostage families are kept informed through their embassies. Former hostage Emily Damari wrote a letter to the Pulitzer Prize board slamming them for giving an award to Mossab Abu Toha, a Gazan poet who, at one point in the past, questioned Damari's hostage status. According to Honest Reporting, Toha won an award for his essays about the situation despite he had also disputed the Bibas family murders and argued that Israeli hostages should not be referred to as hostages. Damari also wrote that Abu Taha contradicts the journalistic values of truth, democracy, and human dignity, which the prize claims to uphold. Damari's statement said, quote, "This is not a political issue. This is a question of humanity. And today, sadly, you have failed in it." Syria's President Ahmed al-Sharaa has confirmed having indirect talks with Israel through mediators. The goal is aimed at easing tensions. Speaking at a press conference in Paris after meeting with the French President Emmanuel Macron, Sharaa said that Israel had intervened and crossed into Syrian territory, constituting a violation of the 1974 agreement between Israel and Syria. He says he commits to upholding this agreement. Very fascinating to see the developments here in this region, especially between Syria and Israel, which have been enemy states for decades. An update in the Qatargate story: Yonatan Orik, an advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, was rearrested late Wednesday night after being questioned. He was then released on Thursday. At his defense hearing, a police interrogator explained that the suspicions against Orik had gotten stronger. Orik was held for suspected tampering with the investigation and for endangering national security. Yonatan Orik, a senior advisor to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, was initially arrested on March 31st, 2025, as a key suspect in the Qatargate investigation. He faces allegations including bribery, fraud, breach of trust, money laundering, and contact with a foreign agent. Authorities suspect that Orik received payments from Qatar-linked sources to promote pro-Qatari messaging within Israeli media, particularly regarding Qatar's role in hostage negotiations with Hamas. He was also allegedly involved in efforts to conceal the origin of the funds. Orik himself has denied any wrongdoing, asserting that the payments were for legitimate consulting work. In Qatargate, police are investigating alleged Qatari influences on figures close to Netanyahu. You might remember that in one of our earlier reports, Yonatan Orik was arrested alongside Eli Feldstein, 2 former aides of the Israeli prime minister. While working as a military spokesman in the PM's office, Feldstein was also employed by a Qatar-funded international company. 2 weeks ago, Orik's house arrest came to an end. I want to thank all of you for your interest in Israeli affairs, Israeli politics, our world politics. I also want to thank all of you who personally finance and fund the Israel Daily News podcast with monthly contributions. You can support us with contributions by going over to our new website, israeldailynews.org, and clicking on donate. The Patreon link is over there, and you can send us a monthly donation using that link. There's also options for one-time donations. Our organization is operational thanks to listeners and supporters like you. Thank you to Marianne Vollinger for her monthly support. In response for your contributions, I'll send over a handwritten thank you note to show my appreciation. There are a couple of you that have recently made a donation to the show, and I don't have your address. You know who you are. Please send us an email. You can send it to shanafold@gmail.com or info@israeldailynews.org, and I'll be able to send you your card. Thank you so much. Follow us on social media at israeldaily.news. We're on X, YouTube, TikTok, and on Instagram. Our page recently hit 15,000, almost 15,000 followers. You can also follow my personal page at Shanna Fold. My name has 2 N's in it, and I'm very sensitive about that. The World Central Kitchen is shutting down its food operations in Gaza after running out of supplies due to Israel's blockade. The group has been serving 133,000 meals and baking 80,000 loaves of bread daily, but says its warehouses are now empty and trucks are stuck waiting at the border crossings. Israel halted aid deliveries in early March, claiming Hamas was seizing supplies and insisting on controlling the future distribution. Aid agencies warn the blockade is pushing Gaza toward famine, with thousands of children suffering from malnutrition. Founder Jose Andres said his team say they're ready to resume work immediately if Israel allows the aid to enter. And now for a Torah thought by Rabbi Yossi Madvig of Oswego, New York.
This week's Torah portion is actually a double portion again, and it is the portion of Achrei Mot, after the death, and Kadoshim, which means holy. And there's an old joke that we learn from here that we should only say good things about a person after they pass away, because we learn from this week's Torah portion, it's Achrei Mot, Kadoshim. After the death, they're holy. But what is the death that we're talking about here? It's the death of Aaron's sons. It says after the death of Aaron's sons, and then there's given a few laws on how to behave in the temple. Because what happened is Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, they went into the Holy of Holies, and it says they offered a strange fire, they offered an incense offering, and really only the high priest goes into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, goes into the Holy of Holies, and that's only on Yom Kippur. And so they did something that was inappropriate, and they passed away. And Hasidic thought delves into this story to see what really was going on here. I mean, they're Aaron's sons. They're raised in the priesthood. They went through the inauguration. They know the rules. They know what's going on. Why would they do such a thing? And it's explained that really what they wanted to do was come close to God. They had this desire, this yearning within them to come close to godliness, and so they felt the best way to do that is to go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, into the Holy of Holies, and make an offering to God. And their desire was so strong that their souls literally just left their bodies. They went straight to God and left their earthly existence. Now, what is the problem? Seemingly, you want to say, oh, well, it's a good thing. They want to come close to God. But obviously, God put us down here in this world, in a body, in a physical world, to do physical things. So we can't let our desire for spirituality completely overtake our physical existence to the point where we expire and just become spiritual beings. We have to find a way to channel that desire and that yearning and that love for godliness and spirituality. We have to channel it back into this world, into our physical existence, where we take the physical world and purify it and elevate it and make it into something holy. Like we say in the second portion, Kadoshim to you, you should be holy. What is holiness? In a certain sense, it is a separateness. where we separate things in holy and not holy, but it's not to separate things to a point where it's just spirituality. No, we want to infuse the physicality with the spirituality. And so we learn something from the death of Nadav and Avihu, of Aaron's sons. We learn that it is perfectly good and healthy to want to cleave to godliness and spirituality and holiness. That's wonderful. But we have to remember that we have to take that desire and make sure that we are infusing our real physical life with that spiritual energy in order to utilize everything that we've been given in this world for a holy purpose, to use for godliness and to make the world a better place. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for that, Rabbi. We all needed those empowering words as we enter our weekend. All right. Well, that is it for today's show. Today is Thursday, May 8th, 2025. Tel Aviv has a low of 19 degrees Celsius and a high of 24 degrees. That's 66 degrees Fahrenheit for the low, going up to 76 degrees for the high. We are everywhere. Don't forget to sign up to our Israel Weekly News Wrap. The Israel Weekly News Wrap is a newsletter with the top 5 stories coming out of Israel from throughout the week. And of course, with a personal note from me at the top. You can sign up for that at israeldailynews.org. I'll send you off with a song that is new to the Israel Daily News. It's called Hashtika Kvar Lo Noha Li, or in English, the silence is no longer comfortable for me. She says it's a song about awkward silences in long-term relationships. Enjoy this song and have a great and productive day and an excellent weekend. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
מה שעובר לי בראש, פוחדת לפגוע, אבל צריך לחשוף את הפצע. לא קל לחשוב שזה עומד להיגמר אחרי הרבה שנים. השתיקה כבר לא נוחה לי, הגרון חסום מדמעות, כל כך הרבה מרחק בחדר אחד. לא קל להודות, אבל בינינו זה מת כבר מזמן, זה וידוא הריגה. כשהשתיקה כבר לא נוחה לי, עוד שאלה שנשארת פתוחה, אולי גם לך. השתיקה כבר לא נוחה, כי השתיקה כבר לא נוחה לי. שעובר לי בראש אחרי משפט אחד, כבר אי אפשר לחבוש את הפצע. השתיקה כבר לא נוחה לי.